The best way to understand that there are problems within a community is, first of all, identifying the root cause of the problem. Most times, the root cause comes down to who the community are, I would say, as individuals or perhaps as people. And there will never be any sort of level of understanding for groups who I would say have not been able to establish what exactly they are looking for, without actually getting others involved. This is something you will find is very present amongst colored communities, where there is actually no direction. I think you will ask, if you ask anybody, what are we looking for? You would actually just say, hold on a second. Most of them could not even tell you. Some would say equality. However, upon gaining that supposed status under the law, there still exist problems within our own communities where we don't even see our own kind as equal, where we can't even do business or build with our own kind. So you have to ask the question, what exactly is it that are pressing the issues? The main reason you need to focus on that question is because you will find that throughout actually assessing situations and inquiring and actually understanding your life beyond the one-dimensional, flat-minded life that most colored people have lived, has been nothing more or less than a result of the doctrine which they have chosen to adopt, instead of actually understanding what exactly they are looking for on their own. And this is what you will never grow to realize for as long as many people have learned the sad reality, being that most of the problems that are faced within the community are actually problems of the community, and less problems revolving outside communities, which have supposedly been reported to have caused these problems. But then you ask yourself, if these problems were resolved, supposedly if there were laws and foundations put into issue, then who would be responsible for the reason as to why these problems persist? And some people may actually sweep this under the carpet and say, oh, nothing exists, or the problems are good. And I would say these people are no more than broken-minded colored people who have actually taken a agreement by the Western world, whether that's through finances, communication, or not to their own discretion, whether they're aware of it or not. They have agreed to brush the remaining masses who remain stuck in some of these circumstances. They have agreed to sweep them under the carpet, to hide the evidence, and to just kind of have everybody floating along and moving in their own direction. And the reality is, how many times have you found yourself in a situation where perhaps um, there has never actually been any source of resource available for the struggle you have faced beyond the level of perhaps systematic procedure, which actually generalizes everyone as if everything is the same, right? And you will find actually that there is very much a difference between a colored person who says they are going through an issue, as opposed to someone who may be classified as a citizen and claims they are going through an issue. And the colored person needs to realize that there is no way, there is no other way to solve that problem other than to recognize that that person is colored. There is no point fighting a law that has actually been, or should I even say, a system or a country or a group of people who have actually proven that that strategy has worked for them to keep their schools white, to keep their communities white, to keep everything they know under that status. You can't fight that, because at the end of the day, if you don't have something of your own, these people are intelligent enough to know that you are coming to them, begging them to cusp you, begging them to take you in, begging you to pay them. And you are showing them, as a matter of fact, that you are incapable of developing the same for your community. And that is exactly why there is no sense of respect, because at the end of the day, there will never be a level of understanding until colored people actually develop something meaningful of their own beyond the tracks that have been in place by perhaps even colored people on colored people and so on. And they need to understand the importance of just acknowledging that these pressing issues of trying to mix in it has been proven to be the most ineffective method or solution for anybody who has a colored background. And anybody could tell you this on paper, that when you come to this realization and when you understand how to actually just acknowledge that some things in life are just the way they are, you will find yourself less willing to change people and more willing to actually change yourself, more willing to actually understand the root causes as to why you can't do for yourself what you are expecting other people to do for you. And I think you'll find life will actually become an interesting level when you actually open up the opportunity to really assessing yourself in the mirror, not running away from what you have been taught, but actually understand that at the end of the day, there are ways around the problem. There are multiple countries around the world, even colored countries, that have actually been able to thrive off of their colored system. I mentioned prior to this that even when you go to a place like Nigeria, you will find that there are Nigerians who study nursing and are able to actually receive their nursing qualification, move to the Western societies, and actually perform up to an appropriate standard within those Western economies. So if this has been already proven to have taken effect and can, as a matter of fact, take place around the world in several countries where perhaps the Black communities may not be the strongest. However, they have established enough community within their own to create schools, to create a structure, to actually create qualifications that will allow capabilities to be brought from those areas into America and into the Western world. Then why is it that people who are in the Western world are convinced that there is no other way of living and that there is no other solution? And the main reason that they are convinced is not because the system does not have a solution, but it is more or less because there has never been a solution developed within America for the or should I say, for the colored people who refuse to acknowledge their colored identity, whereas anybody who is born in Africa immediately is indoctrinated with their identity, just based on the procedures. And keep in mind, many parts of Africa were under British and European colonial powers, and despite those circumstances taking place, have still been able to gain their own capital wealth and their own power and their own structure. This is why I would say, further moving onwards, that there needs to be just a degree of acknowledgement that these issues are something that colored people in America need to solve on their own terms without actually blaming anybody else around them for their inability to actually pursue these avenues and to pursue opportunities where they may feel that there is none, but in reality, statistics have shown that while they may be limited, there are indeed some opportunities for the pressing issues within these communities to be alleviated.